Cool, yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Shalom.
Shalom.
All praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
Shalom.
Double honor to the apostles and others of GreatMillStone, man. Shalom to all the Akim out there doing the work in sincerity and truth. Just basically we're just doing a quick vid. More or less just going to be going into how, like, everyone out... Let me drop this a bit. Basically just going into how this place, everyone out here, more or less, as you can see, the wickedness has been progressively multiplying out here. Everyone out here is free, man. Everyone out here is messed up. Like these people are basically all the wine, the confusion, the mess that Babylon's pushing on the people. Everyone's getting completely sucked up and absorbed into it, man. And that's becoming normality, man. So, you know, having a 6-year-old little boy and saying that's a little girl, that's just becoming a normality amongst Jake, man. So, you know, this more or less just going into how these guys are free.
Go on.
If you got...
Yeah, but if I can say, the story that I was told, and I went to go visit some family members, man, and I was basically being told that you had, basically, what one geese was saying how, saying to my family member that he wouldn't deal with a woman, right? Jake, mind you, he wouldn't deal with a woman unless that woman ate his ass out, man. You know, and that was one of the things I was just reasoning with my cousin about, because it's how these generations have changed and how quickly Esau's done it, right? Because this is London, right? North London, and that just the other day in North London, niggas would look at you sideways for eating pussy. Now niggas are getting their asses licked out and licking ass.
Yeah.
Right, in 10 years.
Yeah, them Benjamin. The thing is, a lot of these things were worth. Them guys. The thing is like, imagine all these tribes. They're meant to be like, you know, riding out for righteousness, like Benjamin. Them guys are fucking. Them guys have been pushing that for the longest, man. That battle wash. That's how them man get down, man. I can't remember who the fuck that bitch was on the radio, man. She was like, yeah, me a cougar, me a jaguar, me a every guy. Bro, some super Benjamin bitch was like, she was saying, yeah, me man say, him want me battle wash. What you saying me I do him? It's like, him want battle wash, you give him battle wash. If you want your man, next woman be giving your man battle wash. Bro, I'm like, they is gritted as fuck. They're done. They're all kinds of done, bro. Like them tribes, and the thing is that's going through all the kingdoms, man. Northern, southern, every tribe, all kinds of through, man. Anywhere they're at, unless they're down with this word, man. They ain't got any kind of covering, man. They're just completely given over to Esau's madness, man.
Quick one.
Oh, go on.
This is Romans chapter 1 verse 28. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to reprobate minds, to do those things which are not convenient.
Yeah, inconvenient, man. And you know, a guy bending over and getting his asshole licked out by some broad that is just inconvenient, man.
Yeah, like you saying those are the same guys I'll be going around saying "Batty man for dead, batty man for dead."
Batty man for dead over this,
you know. Yeah, they're having a tongue stuck up their bumhole, man.
Right? Lodged deep, man. So one of them fucking like goddamn lizard tongues, all up in. They're going off, man. They're going off.
Yeah, and then there's the other one, right? Is this show on YouTube, Backchat London, I was being told about. And you had a black girl, right? 21 years old, Noonie, right? And then she basically says she only deals with white guys. And one occasion she said that she gets licked out on her period, man.
Yeah, that is foul. That is just disgusting. I mean, this is the kind. The thing is like, Esau is basically having women like using their period blood. There was a thing that was going around where like women would just put their period blood on their faces. Yeah. And just like the thing is
period cakes and shit.
Yeah. Where's the edification in that?
Yeah.
They're doing pieces of art.
Yeah.
They're gonna be bleeding out into some Pampers and then use that for some artwork. That is just complete.
That's vile.
That's absurd. Let me read this, man. Proverbs 1 and 21. No, 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? And that's a lot of our people, man. If you go and try, the thing is you got a lot of these guys on YouTube say, oh, only black man is Israelite, and all these kinds of things. That is complete BS, man. If you're trying to say only blacks Israelites. That's false because you got the other tribes as well, man. But it's like even these so-called blacks, they're not even into righteousness, man. A lot of these guys are going the fuck off, man. And you try and tell them, look, man, nah. You even pork's in these. You have to basically go out now. Bro, you go to. No one can say they go to the shop. They go to Tesco's, and then all you see is. The thing is, you will see a massive pork, but then you see bare chicken, bare turkey, bare beef, bare lamb.
Oh, bare veg, because the whole vegan thing is being pushed heavy.
Yeah.
So
Damn, what's going on? You can eat all kinds. You don't have. No one's going there and putting a shotgun to your head saying eat some pork. Even with that, niggas are fucking. They're basically rebelling against that. So it's these Jakes. They're not trying to be righteous at all, man. A lot of these guys are going to fuck off, guy.
This is Habakkuk 2:15 says, "Woe unto him that giveth his neighbour drink." Right, and that drink isn't talking about liquor, because there's nothing wrong with drinking liquor, right? But that drink is about it's talking about philosophies, man. Right, all of these philosophies that Esau's been pushing out. One of them being licking ass is okay, right, and getting an ass licked out is okay. About how dealing on a woman's period. Like they were talking about how in certain countries, man, you basically it's women get abused because they get set apart during their period, but that's according to the law, right? These are all of Esau's philosophies designed to break the fabric of society, the fabric of a nation, man. Right? It says that puttest thy bottle to him and makes him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Right? So it starts off by saying woe unto that guy, man, which is why Esau's going to be destroyed. What the brother said, what edification do you get from painting, doing artwork of period blood, man? Well, what would you call a guy who was walking around with the blood of chickens, just
on his face.
You call that guy a madman?
Yeah, he's gonna get sectioned. He'll get fucking sectioned.
Yeah.
But if a woman does that, it's just so inspirational, just bringing so much strength, just women. And the thing is that is rhetoric. All that man versus woman, they're basically the war of the man versus the woman that Esau's promoting. That's just confusion. That's just to destroy the family, Because what is there to be gained? There ain't shit to be gained.
Well, it's like we've always been saying a lot recently, man. Esau's provided the solution, and that solution is AI, sex robots and shit, man.
AI, man. She'll learn, innit? Just that angle you bust a nut at. She'll massage you. That perfect angle, just like the machine, the motors and the all kinds of God knows what, man, and the silicones and shit, make you feel good. But that's what you want more.
Yeah, no, that was it on that one. But it's because what you said, I had it on Micah 2:10, but verse 1 goes into what you was talking about. Okay. Right, it says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity, right, and work evil upon their beds." Right, so this talking about them elites, man. These elites get together, they say, yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, right, and then they actually go and do it. Right now, these guys have patience because this is a plan that they've been working on for ages. Slowly but surely they're implementing it, man. And seeing the way things have gone, just like as Bob was mentioning, the interaction between men and women, we can tell that this thing is close. Right, because Esau's preference is to go the way of Genesis chambers, right? Where you remember in Superman,
Man of Steel.
Yeah. Right? It was like Superman's. He's the first one to be born naturally in a long time. That's what Esau wants, because with the Genesis chambers, you can say, "Nah, that's a Jake, baby. Kill that shit off, man."
You basically choose what gets to get born.
Says
eugenics.
It says when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. Right? Was that on that?
Yeah. Oh, you're on going now.
This is Psalm chapter 83, verse 2. "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones." And all this, there's these agendas that are being pushed out, like, these different things that basically getting Jake to go off, man. That's all pushed out there by the elites of the society, the think tanks, the dark priests and Illuminatis, whatever you want to call them, these wicked groups, man. They come together and they put the think tanks to work and how they're gonna fuck up the people, and they're trying to get people to go against the things in the law, man. Okay, because the law was established and that's the righteous way to live. So they're trying to get everyone to go basically to the wicked path, man. To go to live an unrighteous life. I remember I was talking to one guy at work, and he's telling me about threading. He's getting his eyebrows threaded. Then he's telling me something about tinting, and I said to him, all I know about tinting is there's a cartoon with a guy with a dog with blonde hair, and the car's getting windows tinted. And he's like, he goes, tinting is basically filling up the gaps in your beard and your hairline.
Effeminate.
And that's effeminate, man. You know, how many men, is there any men out there? You know what I mean? These men are just being made into women, man. You know?
Well, and in that day, the scriptures say, when shit is actually in the fan, that you are going to be as women, man. Yeah. As a woman that travaileth.
So these men are all kinds of free, man. It's you know, that's what it's like, especially among Jakes, guys. Let's focus on these niggas, man. These black pieces of shit. A lot of these guys out here, they're more or less, they're victims of Esau's scheme, man. So they're taking crafty counsel, man. These guys weren't. It's not. This isn't just some. You know, they smoked a blunt, passed it round, and I'm like, no, fuck up, No, these men sat down. They went down. They got diligently into information and schemed and crafted to fuck up Jake, man.
What was part of their diligent search? Because Esau spent, what was it? What, the 20th century? Just round from like I'm not sure the period, but he spent a lot of that looking into psychology, looking at the workings of man.
Like Freud,
Sigmund Freud and all of that. Which is how they told, look, man, as long as a person in authority is saying it, people will go along, man. What was the experiment they did? The geezer, it was basically, you had people playing the doctor and people on the other side. And then the doctor was like, yeah, press that button, it electrocutes them, right? And the geezer will press it. And despite the fact that the guy, he could see that the guy was in pain, because the doctor said he ain't in pain, he kept on pushing.
It gets to the point where they're about to be put to death, basically.
But the doctor's, nah, don't worry about it. Right, Esau spent that time diligently working out, man. That's why he's been able to do such a number on people.
Yeah.
I've got something. Jeremiah 4:22. For my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. And that's Jake just in a nutshell right now, man. Because basically they're sottish, stupid children, and they don't have any understanding. That's why Esau can devise these plans against them, and they can see basically how this whole... Fucking hell. How was that? They can see how this whole society is basically coming against them, and they're just gonna basically say, no, everything's fine, you know, it's just blah blah. They're basically stupefying themselves, man. They're saying on a completely lobotomized level, man, and that's why these guys are getting caught. I mean, look, it's like the thing is it's on a level of where even Esau said like, okay, well, eating pork increases your risk of getting cancer, but then niggas will still eat pork. I mean, what the fuck? Like, they don't get into any kind of knowledge or wisdom or on any kind of level. And when you bring it to them, these guys reject it, man.
You know when you got a society that you sell them cigarettes and on the pack it says, this is killing you.
Yeah.
And they're still smoking it. That's
well, and then those same societies will have governments that will say, yeah, we need to do something about this cancer. Well, they're the ones. Exactly. Oh, they really wanted to do something.
They're taxing the shit. Okay, let's increase the tax on cigarettes. That's what they're going to do.
Pay more.
Yeah.
You know.
And people did, because I remember back in the day, it used to be like £2 something for a pack of 10 cigarettes. Then like the tax hiked, it was like £3.50, almost £4 for a pack of 10. People were still like, fuck it.
Yeah.
£7 for 20 cigarettes. Man are fucking going broke.
Yeah.
Just to smoke. I'm like, that means you're fruit.
Yeah.
You didn't even have a chance.
They really cared about cancer, they'll just straight up make that shit illegal.
Yeah, make it illegal.
Just ban it.
Innit? What's it called, man? Prohibition, man. With alcohol. They did prohibition for alcohol in America for like 10, 11 years. But then it's like, okay, cigarettes just kill you. They just kill you. That's what they do. But it's still completely legal. Fucking retarded, man. And it's so easy to enforce. See a nigga with a fucking stick in his mouth. You beat him over the head with a bat in front of the
God.
God. You got
Yeah, because I had it from before as well, right? So this is Psalm 64, and start from verse 2. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Once again, talking about the Illuminati, right? You know, because that is a thing, they do exist. Right? If you've got an Illuminati on the right-hand side, which we are, right, then you have an Illuminati on the left-hand side. An Illuminati just means enlightened ones, right? Because we like, you know, the Illuminati on the right-hand side, they know things that the majority of the people don't know. And by the majority, we're talking about the mass majority. And us, we know about stuff that the majority, you know, you got guys, you know, you have your parents saying, well, I've been going to church longer than you've been alive. Yet they don't know shit about the Bible, right?
Say, okay, who's Moses?
Yeah.
They say, Jesus' brother.
Well, one of the brothers, his mom, when he first came in, his mom was like, you know, chatting shit about the truth and that. And I was like, oh, what tribe was Jesus from? Right? And it was like one of the Arabic tribes, man. But she would have been going to church her whole life.
True.
Right? Yeah, so from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Right? And all the things that Esau has done, is that not iniquity? Trying to put a woman above a man. Right? Says, who whet their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Right? Once again, that propaganda, right? So that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Well, so not only are they doing this, then hey, Lord, Yahweh, you see these niggas, man? See them, they're eating pork. Hey, man, that nigga just ate some ass, man. These niggas are eating ass nowadays.
What the fuck?
Right?
Accuser of the brethren, right?
Yeah, accused of thy brethren, man. And suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Right? It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them?
Oh, that's Esau. That's Esau. He's the he says in Genesis 25, a cunning hunter. You know, hunters lay traps. That's part of his MO. You know, he's basically setting up these situations where he's basically getting the people to go off, man. Getting Jake to go off, and then accusing us to the Most High. But hey, at the end of the day, the joke's on him. But they're still doing that. They're still doing this wickedness, and Jake don't know that it's happening to them, man. Jake don't even know who they are. You know, they're just out there, just getting caught out there, just doing all kinds of madness, thinking that somehow there's some wisdom in it. Yeah. But they're actually just being fools, man. Yeah. You know, they're just basically cementing their own death.
Yeah, you know, just putting out that propaganda, man. All of that witchcraft, you know, instead of shooting at our people, man. And they know our people are just gonna take it.
Yeah.
Broken.
Because Jake threw. I got this Amos 5:10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. And that's the vast majority of these Jakes. A lot of these Jakes, you try and tell them, like, look, man, it's like even when we're at the camp, we'll be telling them, look, man, you guys, look, you're Israelite. They don't even want to accept they're Israelite, man. They don't want to accept who Yahushua is, that he came for them. These guys are basically just, they're out there pursuing what the world says is righteousness, man. And that's basically set up by Hollywood movies, man. You watch Hollywood, it's like, oh no, go on without me. And it's like, you know, if it's as long, it doesn't matter if the guy's fucking another guy's wife, as long as it's true love. I'm like, bruv, they just promote immense levels of wickedness, man. And that's all Esau's push, and that's what our people are under, because more or less, they're basically getting into that worldly kind of do as thou wilt spirit, man. Where it's like, okay, well, you know, if you want to fuck a guy in the ass, then, you know, that's just who you are.
As long as you love each other.
Yeah, as long as you love each other. But then that's not love, man. That's the way of death. It says, for so much, therefore, as your treading is upon the poor, and ye take from him burdens of wheat, ye have built houses of hewn stone, and ye shall not dwell in them. Ye have planted pleasant vineyards, and ye shall not drink wine of them. For I know your manifold transgressions and your mighty sins. They afflict the just, they take a bribe, they turn aside the poor and the gate from the right. And Jake, basically, they don't even want to eat what they've done to get in the state, man. Jake will talk about, yeah, I'll just try, you know, nothing really works out. They got all the complaints in the world about this place. But then they're gonna eat, okay, we fucked up. We've basically got to, we've got to repent of that. And basically do what we need to do to get forgiven, man. Jake don't want to eat that, man. Jake is basically a piece of shit. Jake is just a nigger, man. And that's why a lot of these guys are gonna get wiped. A lot of these guys, you know, when people fresh come in, they might be messed up, like, oh, my family, like, what about my mama? But then, hey man, if they ain't gonna come into this thing, it means the Lord basically set them up on a level where they're a piece of shit anyway, man. They've done some off shit. Yeah. And they're not gonna come to it, man.
Romans 3 and 23, is it? All have sinned and come short, man.
Yeah, falling short.
Yeah, got a precept? Oh, you got something.
No, go.
This is Ezekiel 3 on what you were saying about how we be out there, but these guys ain't listening, right? It's Ezekiel 3 and 4 says, and he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of an hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people of a strange speech and of an hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. Right? But the house of Israel will not hearken unto me, for they will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Basically saying, look man, if we had gone out there and been telling these heathens, they would have listened. But no, we're not telling those heathens, we're telling the hard-headed niggas that are of Israel, man.
Stiff-necked.
Stiff-necked. Right, and you can see that because, you know, you'll get people come up, Edomites come up, look at the sign, they'll get butthurt that they ain't on the sign. Then you get Jake come up, look at the sign, they'll be like, where's the so-called white man on this sign?
Slaves. That's how you know. That's how you know Jake's through, man. Because if you, every other nation is coming up there like, okay, where's like, oh, where? Like, I don't see my sign. Can you explain to, like, why am I not on this sign? But then it's like, but Jake's the only one gonna come up and be like, oh, no, but where's the white man though? But fam.
But that's showing they somehow understand that there is a power on being on that sign. You know, I don't look at the list of the UN and think, man, I should be that. Fuck it, I am that. Look, caring about my day. Whereas these guys, why not on that sign? You know, because they know there's power in being on that sign, man. They know deep down that, you know, that's not just a, you know, that it's not nothing, man. There's power there, man.
No. I've got something. Zephaniah 2 and 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. And that nation not desired, that's Israel, man. These guys are basically out in the world. They're just like out here. They're leftovers, man. When Jake was brought over to the Western world, they were pretty much brought here just to build this place up. Just to give Esau, like, to build up Esau's prominence, man. And now they've done that. There's no purpose for them, man. If they need builders, they've got them Polish coming over, working for less than Jake. And more or less, these niggas are sore. They're a blight, man, on the eye, man. They're sore. Like Esau don't even like looking on niggas, man. That's why it's more or less Jake is being they're being systematically worked against, as the brother brought out, man. Everything Esau does out here works against Israel, man. That's why it's like, yo, if you're gonna be out here, look, feeding into these systems, there is no benefit for you in them, man. Intentionally, Esau set up where it's just like, yo, it's pure confusion, man. He's just basically trying to make you go off so you get fucked over.
Successfully.
Yeah?
Oh, they did that too. I forgot what chapter it was in. It might have been in when it's talking in the Apocrypha, man. Somewhere in the Apocrypha where it's talking about they're coming against Israel, and one of the heathen nations basically got told that if you get Israel to go off, then they become weak, kind of thing. Yeah, and that's how they came. That's how they came against us, you know.
It's like if the righteous set their hands forth to do iniquity, then they'll basically.
I've got a quick one.
Yeah.
This is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 4. Our sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. So, you know, the ones that are in this truth, the ones that understand and come back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we've been put back on the right path. So we're going forward, man. We're looking forward to the kingdom and you know, living a righteous life, which is what we try to do, man, day by day. But these people are going backwards, man. Our own people, you know, because they've basically forsaken the Lord. They've because they've forsaken the Lord, they've forsaken the right way to live. They've forsaken their power, and without their power, they just caught in Esau's trap, man. And you know that they're just going to be, you know, moving backwards, man, until they put to death. It said, "Why should you be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart faint." So there's no hope for these guys. So, and you know, like the brother was saying, brothers that come in fresh, you might get kind of hurt or emotional because you might have someone in the world that you care about or whatever. But hey, if it's not given to them, then that just means that it wasn't for them, man. That's why the scriptures talk about the elect. You look at Romans 9, it says, not all of Israel. In fact, let me read that quickly. It says, Romans 9:6, not as though the word of God have taken none effect, right? For they are not all Israel which are of Israel. So the word's out there, the prophets are out there telling you what's right and what's wrong, okay? But you're still caught in Esau's traps, man, you know? And then for that, hey, you were set up to be put to death, really, and then see you on the other side, man, you know?
This is Romans 11:7 says, "What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded." So the elect are the ones that are going to get this truth, man. And that's just the way the Lord had it set up. Right, if I may also, read Ephesians 1:4, right? You see that this was all set up from the beginning, because the scriptures talk about how Israel has the zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. Right? And you see Jakes, you know, like I said, they'll spend time in, you know, in the Christian church, right? And you see a lot of guys that will convert to Islam because they're like, nah, the church ain't it. The church ain't it, right? It's something more. But then they go, you know, say, wide is the gate that leadeth to destruction. And they recognize that there's more truth out there, but they just get lost up in Islam.
Well, but that's why the Lord says, "You have not chosen me,
exactly.
I have chosen you."
Exactly.
Because a guy can be saying, "Okay, I'm looking for the truth. And he might dabble in this and look at the scriptures, but then he can be ending up in Islam.
Exactly.
He can end up as a Hindu.
Yeah.
You know, and there's guys that done that. Come to the camp. We've given him the honey. Yeah. We've given him the you know, this bread, and they rejected the Lord's word, man.
That's right.
They rejected the Lord. So the Lord ain't dealing with them.
That's right.
You know.
This is Ephesians 1:4. It says, "According as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestined us unto the adoption of children by Yahweh Shah to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will." So right, it was of the Lord's will to have an elect, which means it's also of the Lord's will to have, you know, a group of Israel that are destined for destruction. Right? You read the scripture, it says what? Hebrews 11:6, right? Without faith it is impossible to please the Most High. But then you read Ephesians 2:8, it says that faith is a gift. Basically saying, you know, it's impossible to please the Most High unless the Lord has actually given you the gift to please him in the first place, man.
That's right. Let's go a quick one. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." So that's why we read the news and we look into things, and we look into studies that have been done by Esau. One of the key reasons why the men that are being given this truth are doing these things is because we understand that we have an enemy. If you don't understand that you have an enemy, then you're not looking for the enemy. You're not trying to. You don't realize you're at war.
You're not privy.
You're sleep. Exactly. Yeah. You're sleeping. You're asleep. You're still sleeping in your tent, while the men of the Lord are out there with their shields and spears, you know, ready for this, man. You know, but that's why it says we're not ignorant of his devices, and the word Satan, it means adversary. So we know that we have an adversary, man.
And then the point you made is a good one, because if you know a guy ain't right, man, you're like, no, I don't trust this guy. Basically, always worry about him. Try to cut you, but yeah, come to my house, man. You're like, no, I got this and that to do. But Jake hears Esau say, "Come to my house, get out, start." Oh, okay, I'll be there. And then he ends up dead.
I think they say in boxing, the worst punch is the one they didn't see coming. The one that catches you off balance. Yeah. You know, but if you see, once you know that Esau is the devil, okay, then you can be like, you're not thinking about saving Esau. You know Esau can't be saved. Exactly. Fuck Esau. You don't want Esau to be saved.
If it's like it's to cut you off, but that's we're talking about how when you first come in the truth, you have certain people that you know right? At first, you will come into this truth, you might have some so-called Edomite friends. You're like, oh man, they can't be saved. But then you go into the history, you go in and you understand the wickedness that Esau's done. You be like, good, this nigga ain't gonna be saved, right? Like, good, these devils ain't gonna be saved. Right, what was it, 100 years of lynching? You read that book, man, right? You know, bro read me an excerpt of it once, man. Bro, that shit makes your blood boil, man. You know, you be looking at Edom, like, you want to take their heads up, and that's why there's no remembrance of things, man, from your last life, because the scriptures talk about reincarnation as well, but there's no remembrance, man, because, man, you see a certain devil, man, you just want to kill all of these devils, man. Right, this is on what you said as well. Romans 13 and 11 says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. Right, now's the time to wake out of sleep, man.
You got that?
No, I just got scripture on Esau.
I got this. Amos 1 and 11. Thus saith the Most High, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. And that perpetuality is basically why Esau's going to get judged, man. Because from when Jacob and Esau were around till now, Esau's had that hatred, man. And that's pretty much what you see manifesting in the modern day, man. That's why this lame cracker is basically going to go out there and be making it look like we're thieves and criminals and uneducated monkeys. But yet, we're still, hey man, the salt ain't lost its savour completely, man. You got Jakes out there that be innovating on levels, never before seen levels. Jake is basically at the forefront of more or less all fields, man. Every field, it's like Jake will just, as soon as they had the capacity to get into it, then they come to the forefront.
Well, have the you see capacity as well, because a lot of the things that he's Jake ain't good at that, is because Jake haven't, like you said, haven't got the capacity, haven't got the means to go into certain things.
Yeah.
Like, well, you got this a cellist, Sekou Mensah, I forgot his first name, right? But he won like a classical musician of the year, man, right? Why? Because what kind of instruments, for instance, did Jake get taught? Instruments you can learn yourself, man.
Drums, love some drums,
guitars, pianos. Because what you just put on, some thing on YouTube, or you go to the church, and then that's something you got. Whereas to learn the cello, the cello ain't gonna be cheap.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like the thing is as well is like to be a master of music, you'll be banging that for when like free.
Exactly.
So you're gonna have to buy the cello for when you're 3 years old. Then by like when the time you're about to hit 5, get the new cello for when you're 5. Then 7, 9, 12, 15,
and then pay like £20 an hour.
Yeah,
for you to go there.
Oh, it's the same thing with golf. Golf clubs are well expensive. That's you got Tiger Woods, who destroyed the game. Yeah. But that was just one game.
Yeah.
But then if you look at like the basketball world or the football world,
well, it's cheap. It's cheap. It's
cheap.
It's
cheap. But it's been
what do you need? What do you need for football? A shirt? 4 shirts.
You don't even need that, man. They go to the park, they take their shirts off and just.
That's what I mean. All you need was 4 shirts. Put it on the ground and a football, man. £10 football, and that's it. Games, like I said, each time Jakes have got into these sports that involve lots and lots of money, they dominate. Lewis Hamilton, his dad was slaving away. So he couldn't afford to take him, but he still did it, and now he's world champion 4 times.
Yeah, Jay can be in the ghetto. You see them videos in Brazil; they be kicking around a tin can and playing football with it. Yeah. So they,
doing it in style.
The things that Jacob got access to, then they're gonna excel in it. But the things that Esau cut them off from, then you're not gonna see it as much. How many Jakes do you know that are world ping pong champions?
Exactly. Most Jakes don't even know what. I've never seen a horse in person. Might have seen it on the coach driving past it, but I've never touched a horse.
It's basically hey man, Jake's just on the bottom, man. Jake's been put in a piece of shit position, and that's been schemed on by Esau, and that's more or less, hey, that's why you've got these Jake in these reprobate positions now, man, where they've just been drip fed whatever Esau wants them to know, man. Yeah. So it's that's what, hey man, if the Lord ain't gonna raise you out of that, then you just don't have any hope, man. Because this is a thing where it's like, yo, it's many been called but few are chosen. So you might get called and not even come into this thing.
Can't.
But then you need to be called in the first place, man. If you don't get called, hey, man, then unfortunate, you're gonna have to get roasted. But you know,
right.
Yeah.
Which is why it's always good to remember
It's
to
what
give
it is.
thanks for having this truth, man.
yeah,
You know, and each time, like, for instance, I'll be walking around town and I'll see a bunch of Christians, man. They'll be out there singing, Jesus died for your sins. I'm like, man, that could have easily been me. Man, I was that kind of Christian before I got in this truth. That would have been me. Right, but bro, the Lord had mercy enough for me to get this truth. And now I'm looking at them like they're some weirdos, man.
for real. Hey, man, is what it is. You know, you man got anything to close on, or you can kick it out? Yeah, leave it there, man. Just just pretty much Jacob. You know, hey, man, the elect. They're gonna rise up. They're gonna wake up from whatever nonsense they're in now. But you know, the guys in the world, they've just been given over to that, man. So that's why it's like, don't let it mess you up. If you got some, some geezers you used to know in the world that are just all into some madness, or they're not down for what you're down for. You just gotta be like, hey, look, man, gotta do what you gotta do, man, to get out of this thing, man. That's what it's all
Well,
about.
like Joshua said, right? That's what me and my house.
Yeah, we're gonna serve the Lord. Whatever you
So
man.
you do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Huh? When them missiles come, hey,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah, man, I ain't even dealing with that, man. You know, leave it there, man. All praise to Yahweh Hashem, and don't want to see apostles and those great millstone, man. And we're all shalom to all the brothers out there, man. Shalom.